Hey girl bosses. I left school early because I had a mental breakdown. And I had like a panic attack. So that was like not really fun. So I left. And I came home. I took a nap. And I am starting on the first Only Red Cape. Storybook Theater for Miss Sadie Lehman. So, first thing that I did was I washed the fabric. I already bought the fabric. Didn't film that, sorry. The fabric is in here. I need to dry it. I put it on hand wash, it was delicate. Yeah. I did the thing that I dreaded doing, and I got a pattern. I hate working with patterns because they're big and stinky, and they're a pain in the butt. But I did it. For you, Sadie. This pattern is a huge pain in the butt because it's a very large pattern. There is a whole ass other sheet of paper or pattern. Right now, I just need this piece right here. 18. Okay, so I'm gonna actually start working on it. I've had a rough time. I don't even know what that's doing here. But I've got some scissors. Here's the fabric for it. It's like this flannel fabric. These are bobbins. I'm putting my sewing machine away for right now because I'm just gonna be cutting out the fabric to fit the pattern. Except I'm probably going to do it a different way than using this. So here's everything that I've got, kind of my setup. I've got my pins, I've got my fabric, I have extra fabric over there, plus Markiplier playing in the background, and the pattern. I'm now going to be cutting the fabric to fit the pattern. So I've got the first thing laid out, and now I'm gonna cut it out with this fancy little tool that like just kind of rolls it, like this. And that's like cutting the fabric, so that's fun. And I'm gonna do that off camera so I can actually focus on doing it well. So that seems to be the wrong thing because it was a skirt, it's a whole pattern. But it's fine, got plenty of fabric, I can go get more. Here is the hood. Where these pins are is basically where I'm gonna be sewing along. And inside of that it'll basically be sewn there, then I flip it inside out and it's a hood. And then when I finish cutting out the cape, that's what it will be attached to. So I've decided with this second piece of fabric, this is I think the bigger piece of fabric. I kind of draped around myself and figured out where I would want it to end, like on my leg, basically, on Sadie. And I'm just going to cut a big straight line across there. And then with the sides, I'm gonna trim them, and then they're going to be hemmed. And then I'm just gonna connect that bottom piece to the hood, which is right there. So yeah. Alrighty, so I'm about to get prepped for sewing. Here is, I believe, the top. Yeah, here's the top. So that's going to be connecting to the cape, or to the hood. And then this other side, here is the bottom. I'm going to be hemming the sides first. So this side, and then I'm going to be hemming the other side, and then I'm going to hem the bottom. And then I may attach the cape and the hoods today as well. So yeah. The other thing I have for this cape specifically is this big hook and eye to fasten. It's going to be going on this corner and the other corner closer to the ground, just to keep it together. I may also use a ribbon, I'm not sure, but I have these hook and eyes, these big ones, just to make sure. Here's my sewing kit. I'm using some fancy stuff in here to make sure that the hems are all even and look pretty. Here's my beautiful sewing machine. I've named her Sally. I'm going to show you a little bit about her. I got her when I was 13. So for this, we have this like little piece of fabric in here. So I'm going to use this little latch up here that's going to just lift that little foot. That normally keeps the fabric down, which makes it so much easier. Then I'm going to crank this wheel to lift that needle as high as it can go. Pull this fabric out. It's just a good placeholder for when you're carrying it around. I'm actually going to be changing the thread because for most of them I will probably be using red thread. But for this one in specific, because it has black on it, I'm probably just going to use black. I'll take off this little cap. That just helps keep the thread going. And take the thread off. Then I'm going to go over here, lift the bobbin cover, and take out the bobbin. Boop. There's that, and I'm going to replace the thread in the bobbin. So here's the thread. How you do it is you're going to, this is very hard to do one-handed, by the way. So you stick it on there. I'll pull some of that out, and then I'm going to grab this little cover, stick it on over to make sure that stays on while I'm sewing. I'll pull it. I'm going to go under this little thing. It kind of shows you how to do it. So I'm going to pull it under here. Then I'm going to push it around here. Pull it down. There's 3, 4, then 5. Pull that over here and tuck it kind of under here. Then I'm going to thread the needle. I'm going to do that off camera really quick because it's kind of hard to do on camera. Alrighty, now that that needle is threaded, I hope you guys can see that. I'm trying to like get it as much as possible. It's kind of hard though, just because it's such a small thing. And then I have this little bobbin case. Focus, please. There we go. I'm gonna grab the ones with black thread, and pull a little bit of that thread off, and pop it in there. And then with bobbins, it also has instructions. You put it underneath that, put it around here, and then you just kind of. It's not wanting to do it. There we go. There's a little blade right there, which basically just cuts the thread. And then I really want to show you guys how I actually thread it to make it go, but I'm not going to do that because that is also another thing that's very hard to do on camera. I will do that when I have someone to help me film. So it would appear that I have lost my seam guide, which is basically this little magnetic thing that sticks onto the sewing machine and guides your seam. Just make sure that it stays straight the entire time. I don't know where it went. It's just gone. So my sewing machine, it has this little compartment. You pop it off and then you just kind of open it. And normally if it's my seam guide isn't like right here by the foot, then it is normally in here. It is not in there. This is a problem. Let me get it back on. This is a problem because I can sew without it. I just prefer sewing with it to make sure that I'm sewing a straight line and everything looks clean and nice. So it appears that I'm going to have to take a trip to Joann's and go get a new one. Hey Queens. Why do you look so scared? We're at Joann's. We're at Joann's. I made him drive me because I don't have my car. I have bobbins, which I do not need, but I kind of need them, but I don't need them at this moment. He's playing Pokemon Go. I got some bobbins, and then I'm also looking for the seam guide thing, so I got the seam guide, and I also got extra bobbins. And now I'm going to start sewing. Okay, babes, the sides are hemmed. I was gonna iron them, but actually they look pretty, I think I'll still iron them probably, but they look pretty nice and clean. For the most part. Here's the inside and the outside. And now I'm going to hem the bottom. And then I think I'm going to sew the hood and attach them. Thumbs up. And I'm also going to turn on Markiplier. Peak Lucas sitting in the corner playing Tetris. Alrighty, I finished hemming the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and sew the hood now. As soon as I'm done sewing this, I do have to go to rehearsal for a show that I'm in at Clark. So I'm gonna finish that, and then I'll probably do the rest tonight or tomorrow. Alrighty guys, we have an almost finished product. Here's, let me step back. Here's the back of the cape, the front. Oh, if I can get it. The hood. I'm just gonna hand sew these little bits at the end because the sewing machine didn't get them too well. And then I'm going to add the hooks in the eyes, and Sadie Lehman's cape will be done. Sadie's cape is now officially the first cape on the costume rack.